Welcome back, vintage gamers. Last night at 3 a.m., I played the good old Countervine, aka Squee, aka Hollowvine, aka Bizarre Delver thing. And I started off with 8 straight wins on my way to a second place finish in the 3 a.m. challenge. Now, might be like wondering, Justin, why didn't you record that? Why didn't you stream that? Well, to be honest, after recording the video for Friday, where I went over my trip to Italy, things got a lot worse rather than getting better. I just woke up with like an absolutely crazy amount of hives. I basically turned a completely different color, so I had to go to urgent care and stuff like that. So the good news is we have determined what's going on, and we're on the road to recovery over on this end. However, I don't really like the way I look currently right now, so we're gonna do no cam for this stream. What that ended up meaning is I've been basically on a bunch of medication and in bed for a couple days. And I ended up just being randomly awake for the 3 a.m. challenge, so I decided to play it all on meds and everything. So I played the perfect deck where you don't have to take too many game actions, and the deck plays itself for you. that's a joke. That's a joke for everyone at home. I know you can't see my face, but I am joking. But it is a deck that I think has some pretty straightforward play patterns, and I was able to just completely crush everyone. Now, unfortunately, I did that off stream on my laptop in bed, and which means I don't actually have any kind of recordings or anything from that stream. But I figured we might as well just play a league with this deck now, and I don't have that many Countervine leagues on my YouTube channel recently, anyways. So. I basically just took one of the most recent lists from Fire Truck, who had a recent double top 8 performance, and I just ran with it. I think this list is totally fine. I mean, you can obviously tweak the flex slots, right? With the snapbacks and the furies and the vigors and the traps are usually where your flex slots are in the main. And then you have a couple different spots you can play around in the sideboard as well. I found all these numbers to be reasonable, if not good. So I just ran with it. It's possible you might want like more Caracas in the board. If there are more Bizarres, you might want like Ghost Quarters. Sometimes you want, full traps if you're playing against all the Jewel, but those kind of things are pretty customizable. And as long as you have the main core package, the deck pretty much plays the same as always. So yeah, I'm going to just take this deck through a league, hopefully get a nice recording in so that people will have something to watch on Monday. And then I still can't guarantee what we will see for the rest of the coming week, as I hopefully start feeling a lot better and look a lot better soon. And we'll see. Let's go through our league right now. See you there.
If you'd like to see your deck played on this channel, check out the Patreon link in the description below, where you can find all the information you need to submit a donation deck list. Let's battle.
Okay, here we go. Round one. For those who haven't played this deck before, this is a kind of a fair controlling tempo style deck based around Bazaar of Baghdad. It actually takes away any of your thoughts about when you should or shouldn't mulligan by being a deck that mulligans only to Bazaar of Baghdad. If you have a Bazaar of Baghdad in your hand, in 99% of games, it means it's a keep. There are definitely some outside circumstances where you can keep hands that don't contain Bazaar in like it's usually in like Bazaar mirrors where you have a ley line and some wastelands and stuff like that. But for the most part, you just mulligan to Bazaar. So the key is to try to do that try to mulligan as little as possible. Here we have a Serum Powder to replace our mulligan. There are some circumstances where you think like, oh, maybe I don't want to exile a certain number of these cards. Like, what if I had all 4 Vengevines? Do I really want to powder? I find that in the most circumstances, the answer is still you should just powder. Here we powder. Here we're gonna lose a lot of our things. Here we powder, and then we still are missing, so we mulligan, and then we're keeping. We probably don't need a second Noxious Revival here. Noxious Revival mostly for recurring our Bazaar. We already have one, already have a Vigor, already have this. Looks fine. Well, let's see what our opponent has for us. I actually think that Squee is probably one of the easier decks to play in the format because of the mulligan situation, where you don't actually have to determine if you need to keep a good hand, or what is a good hand in a matchup, that kind of thing. That actually is one of the highest places of skill discrepancy, I would say, in the format is knowing when to mulligan. Here, I actually do like the idea of this is a vigor on Jet and Saga. Pitching Noxious. If they have a force, we are still okay because we have Wasteland, but we'll be behind a little bit. That's probably not something I have to do, but it's definitely something I would like to do there. Definitely want to get my Bazaar going as soon as possible, and taking a turn off to Wasteland is fine, but not great. Would love to be able to keep up Force Pitch Force here. We can. We just have to lose a Wasteland. So I get punished pretty hard if my opponent's next play is second Saga, but I think I'm still going to do that. Yeah, the hard part and the decision making, and the way you gain, you start hitting the top percentage of win rate with this deck is your Bazaar activation. So right there, it's absolutely possible that I'm wrong, and having Wasteland in my hand is better than having Force Up. Maybe pitching Hollow One is better than, or keeping Wasteland is better than playing Hollow One. Like, there's a lot of variables there. And a lot of that comes up on based on like what do I think my opponent's deck is doing, format experience, that kind of thing. I still don't know exactly which deck my opponent is on, to be fair. All we know is they're a Saga deck. So here I don't have any cards in my hand, and I don't have any Squeeze or Masters in my graveyard to build card advantage. So what I'll do is I'll activate my Bazaar in my upkeep with 0 cards in hand. That's good, and then I'll draw. And then next turn, we won't activate, or we will just activate with 2 cards in hand, which gives us the ability to keep a Hollow One or a Wasteland. I currently am not sure we're winning this game, but we mulligan quite a bit, so like obviously an opponent dropping a Time Vault is going to put us in a bad situation. Wow, Basic Island, huh? Or Basic Island Ancestral Recall is going to put us in a bad situation. If we draw like a green card for turn, it's almost assuredly I would just pass. They can actually play Hardcast Citadel. Yeah, I mean, opponent has a lot of power across the table in here, so we'll draw for turn. If it's a green card, it is a green card. So it's actually cool. It's a green card that would trigger these Vengevines. I'm definitely going to leave open Vigor here and definitely hold this Root Walla. It'll give me a better chance to hit 2 creature spells to bring back my Vengevines next turn, and my Vengevines are actually lethal next turn. So this way, I have the ability to Vigor if they draw Vault Key, and I also have the ability to lethal next turn with my Root Walla plus Vines. Hull Breacher. So I would have to hit exactly a Root Walla off of my Bazaar activation right now to be able to get my Vengevines. And I also 1 Root Walla, 2 Root Walla, 3 Root Walla. And I also wouldn't be able to Vigor if they had something like post Hull Breacher, but why would you play a Hull Breacher now? Does it mean you're going to cast Wheel of Fortune? Possibly. Also, my Vengevines are no longer lethal because there will be a Hull Breacher blocking. I don't know. The problem with it being I need to draw 2 and one of them being exactly Root Walla is a big deal. I don't know the answer. I'm going to activate, but I could see it easily being wrong. Yeah, we missed. All right. I mean, in this case, I think I'm just going to keep this Wasteland. Can't see us winning this game at this point. Kind of unfortunate, but we were just a little bit off. I think if we could brought back these Vengevines a little bit earlier, maybe we had a better chance. This looks like it's going to be wheel, though. That's what it feels like to me. Yeah, I mean, my opponent had a lot of A and a lot of B. No problem, no problem. It's definitely unfortunate to lose any games to this matchup. I would assume this is one of our better matchups, though Hold Breacher definitely skews things. Hold Breacher is one of the cards that is quite good against my deck. Especially with Fury being the only real way to kill it and, not instant speed. So definitely a Vigor matchup, definitely a Chalice matchup. Probably not a Caracas matchup. Could technically be a Snapback Mindbreak Trap matchup. Probably is a Snapback Mindbreak Trap matchup due to like a Sphinx of the Steel Wind. I don't know where that puts us though. I feel like we want some number of Fury because of Hold Breacher, maybe, but could be not the case. This is probably something like some number of Noxious out, maybe like a Vine. Depends on what kind of anti-graveyard cards they have. Could be just like another Root Walla. Something like this. I'm not really sure. I mostly go on feels. I think the sideboarding is pretty straightforward for like non-blue decks. Like when you play a Bizarre Mirror, like it's very clearly, 12 cards go in, 12 blue cards go out. But when you start playing like the last few slots of these blue combo matchups where Vigor is good, then things get interesting. One thing that was interesting is we played against a couple mono white players in the challenge, and they're all on a new version of the deck that runs. It brought Peacekeepers back in, anointed Peacekeepers, but it was actually pretty interesting because none of those versions play Leyline of the Void. So if I saw Peacekeeper, I just didn't bring in Leyline of the Void, or I didn't. I cut all my Force of Vigors. It was super, super good for me. I got to just like be super slim because I didn't have to worry about my opponent having Vigor or having Leyline. So always be careful with how you net deck, I would say. Master is a good draw here. Shouldn't need a second Bazaar. Definitely want to get value off my Master. Want to have a Wasteland for and have the ability to do double forces, that kind of thing. Okay, blue. Sure. So I'm gonna let this one resolve because it's the second spell. So this way, at the end of turn, I can vigor them both, and if they have a counter, I can just trap it. No reason to fight over this one. So I'll go to the end step. Gets good value off our Mindbreak Trap if this happens. And I definitely don't really want them having Soul Ring in play anyways. Now, if they have like double force, then things get interesting, but they also will be out of cards at that point. But maybe still okay for them. I mean, if they force here, it's so good for us, so. Yep, nice. What are we gonna get? We got Force and Tinker. Wow, that's just unbelievably good for us. Sorry, friendo. Yeah, that's about how my matchup typically goes against this deck. If we don't draw a blue card, then we will obviously keep the Master in our hand. We drew a Squee, a Powder. Just gonna get rid of this Fury, put the Wasteland in play, and leave Force in hand. Maybe I lose a little value in this exchange, but I think this is fine. I'd like to use my land drop. Gives me future protection against Tabernacle. And I still think that I would want to force something like an Ancestral Recall, so. But maybe this, like... Yeah... This isn't a great force target, to be honest, but I kind of think I'm just going to do it anyways. If their last card's Fluster, obviously, I think it's bad for me, but... Last card Ancestral, it's quite bad for me, but I kind of want to just continue getting card advantage with a Squee. Maybe it doesn't make sense because I had the Master in hand, but... I'm just going to always activate, I think, with the Squee in hand. Yeah. That looks nice. I love Squee. Okay. My opponent doesn't have Tinker in their deck anymore, so the only thing I'm super worried about is an Ancestral, right? Not even worried that much about a Saga. I guess like Land Hold Breacher is pretty good still. Don't think we're like out of the woods yet, but this one Bizarre activation giving us a Force of Will and some power might do it. Hey, look, a Force of Will and some power. Does it make sense to have two force? Yeah, I think I could totally get to a point where I have two more blue cards. So I think we'll keep both forces. Like, it's definitely possible my opponent bricks on a mana source here, doesn't have another play, and then we go to our next turn and we draw 3 cards, pitching 2 squeeze, and have 2 new blue cards. I think that's totally a reasonable sequence. This game is just about over. We did not hit 2 blue cards, but we did hit a bunch of squeeze. 2 islands, huh? Maybe they're mono blue, well, mono blue saga? Fanoop style, maybe? 2 islands is a little bit peculiar. All right, so if I hit a double creature here, we have lethal. Technically could cast that. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Didn't have lethal, but all right. What do we want to do? Do I like the way I have this board set up? I still think Chalice is good, even not on the play. Sometimes the Chalice comes out on the play draw, depending on the matchup. Of course, I'm worried about Force of Vigor when you take out Noxious Revival because your green count is stupid low, but I think it's fine. Like, I definitely want all of my blue cards, blue counter magic, and ability to use the graveyard. Maybe, like, even thinking about having more than one Fury is, like, not the way to play the game. But it's possible, like, you're not even supposed to play against the Hold Breachers like that. I don't know the answer. So why bother? What do I got? That's a miss. This deck has a really different power scale based on how many cards you keep in your opening hand. If you keep a 7-card hand with this deck, it's usually quite potent, especially when an opponent's not on a Wasteland deck. And if you don't, it gets varying degrees worse. This hand's quite reasonable, though. So this is an interesting one because I'm definitely interested in Double Vine. I feel like I have to keep Wasteland because of Saga. That might not be true, but I feel like this is like a put a Squee back. Could be put a Vengevine back, to be fair. Especially if they're on like Soul Guide Lantern. I'll put a Vengevine back. Maybe that's wrong. I could see that being wrong. but I don't know. If I had guaranteed Vine, then maybe it'd be different. But they probed me. 7-card Tinker Hand? No, 6-card Tinker Hand. I would say I don't feel too safe here, all things considered. Oh, yeah, I mean, not much I can do about that. My hand just didn't have the counterspell, so they have the needle. Yeah. Oh, cool. Ancestral as well. All right, well, we're just super doomed. Yeah. Well, we have 4 Vigors in our deck. So yeah, that's like one of the things that can happen, right? Like I don't have the ability to mulligan to a hand that has good cards against the matchup. I only can mulligan to a hand that has Bizarre, and if my hand doesn't have cards to be that good in the matchup, then it's bad. Not that I'm sure how many hands are beating this. Like even if I have a misstep hand, like it's gonna get baited out. If I have a Mindbreak Trap hand, they'll play around it. Seems like pretty close to what you have the, might be one of the best things you can really get going on. So don't think I'm gonna just like not play my cards and like pitch squeeze to hand size here. Considering playing the lands out is probably more useful for me. Problem is, even if I do draw a Vigor, what's the likelihood it's going to resolve, Feels unlikely. They can have, basically have anything. Flusterstorm. Rootwalla. All right, so now we are getting closer to the point where maybe we could return a Vengevine. So I think I won't play another land out. Maybe playing out this Bazaar was suspect. But what we can do is, pitch like a Vengevine to hand size, and then pitch a Squee to hand size, and then pitch these 2 to hand size. Okay, never mind. Okay. Maybe we'll just pitch a Rootwalla to hand size and go for the 1/1 beats. So you can like pitch these to hand size and then eventually use your end step to return Vengevine. That's something you can do. They did crack their lantern, so maybe we're back to that plan. They did draw something though, so yeah. Can't imagine we're beating that. I will have played 1 match in this league and lost the same amount of matches I lost in 9 rounds in a challenge. Isn't that amazing? It's crazy how that works. Chalice. What if I just chalice on 1? Stop them from Volkeying? Probably my best play, which is kind of crazy, but I mean, maybe they went for Tinker off Demonic, but I assume they went for Key, but they didn't play Key, so maybe that means that they have Fluster or something. I don't know. But I mean, I would assume they went for Key. All right, so they probably just had Force plus Key. Yeah, I mean, we drew none of our interactive spells, so we just couldn't play any games of Magic here. And here's a key. All right, yeah, you got me. Not much I could really do, which is sometimes the fate of the Vine player. All right, cool. Let's try again. What do I got? Nope. Mulligan. What do I got? Nope. Powder. I do enjoy the simpleness of the bizarre mulligan, but I don't know. Maybe not for the long term. It's nice to have a bizarre deck in your back pocket, though. especially when people don't expect you to be playing a Bazaar deck. Which card would I want to keep for a powder? I think probably green Rootwalla, but I could be convinced that the answer is Master, or even Wasteland. Powder again. Powder again. Mulligan. Keep. All right. So what do we end up with? A 5-card hand with Bazaar, Squee. It's not bad at all. I think I just don't need this snapback. And I'm going to put away this Noxious over the Vig. I'm going to put away this Vigor over the Noxious. I'm not going to have a lot of cards in my hand, so it's probably better to have the card that costs 1 mana, bring back my Bazaar. Especially if I end up like going for value Squee here, and then I get Wastelanded, something like that. So yeah, so what I'll try to do here is save this Rootwalla for my Vengevine. So I'm just going to get rid of this Serum Powder, cast Chalice on 0, and that worked out pretty well. Not bad, not bad. Could be better, of course, but... So yeah, I do think that some amount of my winning yesterday is, you know, people... Most of the time I broadcast my deck to the world. So 1, people not knowing what deck I'm on. 2, playing a deck they might not suspect me to be on. Definitely helps a lot. It's pretty crazy though, just the sheer difference between streaming and not streaming. Not streaming, I made a joke on Twitter today. Normally when people ask me like, how much do you think streaming hurts you? And I'm usually like, well, I probably play at like a 20% less, you know, proficiency, some number like that. Now my new answer is going to be, if you stream, you'll play worse than you would if you had sickness, itchy hives, and drowsy medication all at the same time. So pretty crazy, but let's see. A Hexdrinker could actually be kind of challenging for my deck to beat, right? They kept a, what is this, a 7-card Once Upon a Time hand? No Bazaar. It's kind of intriguing, and no Wasteland either. I can't imagine that makes a lot of sense to me, but we'll see what happens. Looking for another creature to bring back a Vengevine here. We did not hit another creature. All right, well. Do I want to have Force, or do I want to keep a Noxious Revival for a Wasteland? The thing is, if they had a Wasteland, they would have just played it on turn 1. So maybe they had like a Black Lotus hand, and I chalice them. I don't think there's anything I like need to force. So in that circumstance, I'm just gonna get rid of. Yeah, I don't think there's anything my opponent could play that I would need to force. So I think I would rather have access to Noxious in case they Wasteland me. What is my opponent's deck going to play that I need to force here? Like there's nothing, right? There's absolutely nothing. How many Furies are in my main? I have 2 Furies and 1 is gone already. I mean, I could definitely just straight up lose to this Hexdrinker because my draw isn't very fast. That's possible. Sure. Rootwalla, pump. Yeah. Okay. It's possible they had like a Black Lotus draw that this Chalice made awkward. All right, cool. So now we have our Vine coming back. Oh, we also have Strip Mine for Cradle. That's great. So I can just go Squee, Rootwalla, bring back Vine, play Squee, have Force. Definitely like the idea of strip mining this Cradle to keep them off of a big Hexdrinker. We can even regrow our strip mine if we feel like that's necessary. I like the position we're currently in, which is really good because I actually think that this matchup is usually not very good. I usually want to take the Aggrovine side of this matchup, mostly because you activate you play your you can play a game without a Bazaar, whereas my deck doesn't play very well. It's really neat and interesting the way the three Bazaar decks interact with each other in the field, because they do operate on very different fundamental levels of like deck construction and also game plan. Maybe I'll make a video at some point just like talking about the how we have three distinct Bazaar archetypes and how they play, because it's actually pretty uncommon in the history of Vintage to have this many different decks utilizing Bazaar, from what I understand. So, this looks like just an attack with Vengevine first, in case we draw like double hollow one or something, maybe. I don't know. Sure. This is totally fine. I could get behind that. Yup. That's like double hollow one. It's a lizard party. Cool. All right, so typically post board against the Bazaar Mirror, it's something like this, because you don't actually have spells you want to counter, and you won't have enough blue cards. The problem with this play is that my opponent's deck isn't actually bad against Leyline. It's probably still correct, though, because once we board out a certain amount of blue cards, it's impossible for us to actually cast them. It's not impossible. Like, we do have 10 or something, but it's pretty bad. So I think I would rather return target creature to its owner's hand. Interesting. I'm not 100% sure about Snapback. Let me go look at a quick Aggrovine list to see if they're playing. I assume they're on ley lines, right? I haven't checked in on Aggrovine in a while. I don't know what people are up to these days. The old search for decks containing Hexdrinker. Survey says Vengeful Pharaoh? This deck has no... Wow, we're going to get murdered if that's the case, though, still. So right now, the two published lists don't have ley lines. I mean, you can still hit hollow ones off of Vigor. But if they don't have ley lines, then maybe I just want to board like this. Oh, but I guess we'll try to find out. So yeah, this hand is obviously something we're gonna keep. We have Fury, we have Vine on turn one, we have Bazaar. Leyline's not actually that great against our opponent. It's only going to stop. Well, in this case, actually, it might stop multiple things because they are playing a newer version of the deck. This deck looks like it has Bloodghast and Vengevine and possibly Vengeful Pharaoh. So maybe a couple good cards where this is good. I mean, you can't be mad about a Bazaar hand with set on 7 at all, and especially one that has Leyline and Fury and stuff. So Fury is probably one of our best cards in the matchup, I would think. But yeah, I would maybe this matchup is different than the last time I played it, considering Fury has been picked up pretty heavily by the Squee Countervine side. So I'm kind of hoping they play some kind of Fury target for me, whether that's a hollow one or some lizards. That way, when I go for my Vengevine, I can go for my Vengevine using Fury as my second creature. All right, so my opponent pitched a Vengevine, but we had the Leyline, so big win for us. And then, do they have a hollow one, or is it just lizards? No hollow one. All right. Then the question to be asked is, do we Fury first? Do we gain anything by furying first? Maybe we gain the possibility of countering an endurance or a surgical with noxious. Wait, we shouldn't be able to get. Oh yeah, we can always get endurance, and we can beat surgical with noxious if we want to. I guess there's no reason to go. We have enough cards for pitching anyways. We don't have any reason to wait here. Well, now I don't even have to. I don't even have to Fury, and I don't think I will Fury. I don't think there's a compelling reason to Fury just to root Wallace away. So let's see if I get endurance or surgical here. If it's surgical, we have a pretty interesting question of do we counter surgical with noxious? I kind of think the answer is no. And the reason is I want to be able to bring back my Bazaar with noxious if they have a wasteland, right? So I think I would happily lose Vengevine to make sure that I have a future Bazaar, because my deck doesn't really function without Bazaar. Okay. I really like this artwork. Looks nice. All right, what do you got for us, Blues Man? Oh, they're off it. Yeah, I think we drew quite above average in this match. Okay, back for more bizarre action here. I have a very nice one. Let's try it. I wish I had a blue card so I could protect myself from dying on turn 1, but you can't have it all, right? We do have a vigor, which is like a blue card. Or we do have a vigor, which is like a force. It's not like a blue card. It's something, okay? Like it's there. It's doing its thing. I mean, this hand is pretty, it's got a lot of the things I like to see. Opponent is welcoming me to the dark side, which is apt. They do have a wasteland waiting for me. I do have a noxious waiting for that. I am gonna waste no time though and get in here. Second Bazaar is definitely good. I want to get rid of Squee for sure, and then I think I'm just gonna deploy the fleet of lizards. This gives me blue card Force, green card Vigor, Hollow one, and a second Bazaar, which is, I don't know. When I say it all out loud like that, sounds kind of cheating. But maybe not good enough. Notoriously, this deck's bad matchups are mulliganing and wastelands, so we'll see what happens. Another basic island matchup, huh? I'm at least a little. Well, I have wasteland, so I'm not that worried about Hull Breacher. They might be holding up a Flusterstorm to stop me from Noxiousing, but I don't even have to Noxious, so I could technically Vigor there, but I just don't know what my opponent's deck is, what deck they're playing. It might be that these Moxen are not actually important, which is definitely possible. If my opponent does have a Hull Breacher, then it's probably fine to just snap back it. I guess I can just play this out and attack first. If they want to play a whole reacher, then I can activate now. So it is a swords. Do I want to snap back my hollow one? Nah, I don't think I care. So my opponent has swords and wasteland. I don't know what exactly is going on here, to be honest. I do like that a lot, though. Also, if I Noxious on their turn, I do have negation. Yeah, this is fine. We'll negate this. They might have Fluster, but it's okay. Yeah. Teferi's a bit of an annoying one for sure. I mean, I kind of am regretting not vigoring the double Moxen. Wow, we got spell pierced. So now the question is, do I still vigor them here? I mean, it looks like they're on some version of Esper Tinker, possibly. But they have Wasteland. The Wasteland is very odd. I don't know what the Wasteland means. Could it just be Esper Control? I am just going to Vigor at this point. They don't have another Wasteland, so... And I'm going to be drawing so many cards. I think it's acceptable, especially if I, like, Wasteland them. Unfortunately, if they were to minus... Minus would be good. We would just kill the Teferi. But... Oh. All right. So let's get all these cards back into our hand. We definitely will spend time attacking the Teferi. That's for sure. Not great draws. But we did draw a million cards, so. One of the nice parts about Vigoring there was that they can't like bounce a Moxen to get extra mana and do something with it. Here, they're on the basic island, 2 cards in hand. Feels pretty good. If they bounce with Teferi, then we just get to play spells again. All right, spells are on. I have Vigor, I have Trap. They drew a Wasteland, though. That's really good. Drawing a Wasteland there is really, really good. Especially because I used my Noxious. All right. So this is it's a game for sure. Like we have a lot of cards in our hand, but they don't exactly do too much. Going to grab all of these. We can always pitch our root wall at a hand size if we want. I think we will. We want to get this clock going. Don't have a force, which is awkward. Second, drawing the Wasteland off the draw step plus Teferi was pretty high power. 2 basic islands. Is this gonna be Dig? Or Cruise? That's wild. That's super bad for me. Cruise. So maybe they're just playing like blue-white control. I'm kind of regretting my decision to Vigor there. Hollow one. All right. I kind of wish we were drawing like a Force of Will, but I'm just going to go all my Root Wallas. I don't think my opponent's deck is going to have things I need to Force a Vigor. Kind of looks like they're our control deck. So I just need to get my clock in play. All right, they found the white mana. All right, what are we doing? Basic snow-covered plains. Another Teferi. They're probably just going to cycle it, right? Doesn't really stop me, though. Just cycles. No. Do I attack it at all? Maybe I attack it for 2. I think I attack it for 2. That way, if they want to use it, they have to cash it. Did finally hit a negation. So if they cash it into a payoff, we at least have something for some of their payoffs. I don't know what their payoffs are exactly. You know what they might be on? They might be on like the Andy Probasco Displacer Kitten deck. Fuck. Excuse me. I was hoping that they wouldn't hit something before, but they did hit something before. So I guess with this attack, they can plus again, and I can't actually kill the Teferi. I don't know. They're so low. They're so low on life total. Maybe that attack was bad, though. I could see that attack not being great. Maybe not ideal. My opponent has successfully cast Treasure Cruise and Dig in this game, and I typically find that these decks are horrible at doing that, which is quite scary. I feel like we're going to get like one of our things Swords to Plowshare here. Yep. So things are really bad. I think we're losing this game. That's kind of crazy. I did not think we would be losing this game. I don't know. I don't know what the, I mean, I don't think it matters anymore. Maybe, yeah, it's super bad. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Jace, we're losing to Jace. We can't be just losing to Jace the Mind Sculptor, man. Not in the year 2023. Man, finding that wasteland off the top with that one turn they found the wasteland really ruined me. I am looking back at that vigor and thinking I probably threw the game off the vigor. I mean, they would have been able to play more spells, but all right. Well, this technically lets me get back Zara Baghdad. So they don't have a counter spell. We can at least play some magic. Okay, magic might be played. And then this attack, I don't know. All of these look really bad. I think it's still Teferi. The problem is there's still an active Teferi here. I don't want to pitch Rootwalla because I can't cast it due to Teferi. All right, well, we do get a Bazaar back unless something else happens. So that's good. This league has gone much worse than my challenge, I must say. My challenge did not feel like I had any... Oh, they can... Fuck. Okay, you're right. They have the power of Jace the Mind Sculptor. Well, the problem is I can't make any other play than that, right? Because I can't cast at instant speed because of Teferi. Yeah. All right. I didn't think I will be the first to admit I did not see that play, but I also feel like I had to make the play I made, so. Huh. I feel like that wasteland, man, that wasteland was so bad for us. So just blue-white control. Blue-white control. Caracas for Lavinia. Gaia's Cradle for Wasteland. Don't know if we want Fury for Planeswalkers. Probably don't want Snapback. I can't think we would want Vigor unless they have, like, Rest in Peace, which would be pretty interesting. Might try this. I don't know. I don't know what's in my opponent's deck, so it's a little hard to say. This seems fine. Some anti wasteland and some anti planeswalker, I guess. You could put it that way. Ooh, I think my hands look a lot better today. That's good. I'm hoping to return to non off-color state in the next few days, and then I was supposed to go on another vacation, quote unquote, but we'll see what happens. So many things are going wrong. It's hard to say. All right, this is a lot of wastelands gone, but it's fine. Powder this away. Keep this. Oh, I kept in Chalice. That's probably fine on the play. My opponent's deck certainly gets worse if it doesn't have Moxen, right? Casting Teferi on turn 3 instead of turn 1 is quite a bit different. I'm looking for some squee effects here. I might even just pitch the Chalice. No, it should be fine because this trap will be bad. It's better to have a Bazaar than it is to have a Noxious. I guess if they counter the Chalice, but they would never counter the Chalice. I mean, I also just like am not beating a Tabernacle very well here. I'm not doing a lot of things, but I don't have any squeeze to like play a long game at the moment. Why am I F6? Darson, don't F6. They have the Wasteland. So here, if I draw a Wasteland, I would definitely play it over a Bazaar because I don't want to get Tabernacled. I did not hit one of those. This is probably just... What kind of upside do I gain by activating now? Like double root wall is the only upside. Am I going to activate end of turn if I... Probably. This might be wrong. I might be supposed to hold this whole... Oh, I'd love to keep a mental misstep. I guess I technically can. Not sure about this one. What if it's second wasteland? It's not second wasteland. I think that activation is probably bad. Probably just supposed to hold on that one. That is a place where I think I have bad gut instincts, heuristics, and stuff. This is why I wanted to have a mental misstep. Yo, you're playing Path to Exile. That means they probably have 4 swords plus Path. That's crazy. I mean, five damage, five free power is a clock, so definitely no activation here. Swords plus fluster, maybe. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Path, swords. I do think that Wasteland control decks like Jeskai and this deck are actually quite good against Squee. You just remove all the creatures and Wasteland the Bazaars. Usually works out pretty well. Pretty sure the answer here is going to be activate at end step, put all the cards in the yard, activate and upkeep. Maybe not. Maybe I go up to 2 cards. Then go to 1. That way I can keep a hollow one. I feel like that's losing too much value, though. Especially with no squeeze in the yard. Oh. Okay. I'm gonna do. This might be wrong as well. I don't think I want to try to beat Tabernacle via Wasteland. Okay, well, I was thinking about beating it via Vengevine. So I now do have the ability to do that. Almost. They're at 9, I guess. Though if they play a Teferi, I can't play Root Wallas, which would make this extremely tough, right? Standstill. We're losing to Standstill. All right, I'm just going to draw... Oh. Okay. Let's play this. I mean, this Standstill looks good for me, and the fact that I can just wait. I guess if they hit Wasteland, it's bad for me, but... I think we're fine. I don't see... Don't have a convincing way of getting these back and dealing the extra 1 damage yet, but... I'm just going to wait until I have good cards. It's possible just playing the strip mine was wrong, though. Then I should just wait. Oh. This lets me do some, like, Root Walla stuff. How many Root Wallas am I down? I'm not really down any Root Wallas, really. Just 1. I'm not sure that this is the best way to play through here, but... That's 1 Root Walla. Maybe we just go for the end step, double Root Walla, break the Standstill, kill them. So I guess they could have a bunch of swords at that point. Don't think we want to do that until we have a second Root Walla in hand, though. Hollow one. All right, well, I think like that means we should just do it, so... Yeah. I mean, it's not getting much better than that, right? That's crazy. All right, well, here's your 3 free cards. Find out if they beat 3 Vengevines. Wow. You can see my face there, but apparently the answer is they do beat my 3 Vengevines. Oh, shakes. Yeah. I'm just getting bullied by Standstill players recently. Don't know why. I think I'm like 0-3 versus my last 3 Standstill opponents. If... Yeah, I don't know. It is what it is, I guess. I had triple Vine lethal and I had Containment Priest off their Standstill. And another Swords. And an Ancestral. Jesus. All right, okay, opponent, I see you. I see you. Woe is me who breaks the Standstill. Well, Containment Priest has 1 job, and that was the job, and it did the job, so can't ask for much more. Okay, let's go for strip mine this Tabernacle so I can keep my hollow ones. No reason not to activate and try to find some squeeze. I guess they could have a hull reacher, but whatever. They have a hull reacher, that's fine. Found a squee, found another Root Walla. which doesn't get stopped by Containment Priest because I am casting it. Actually, very important Root Walla to hit, as now I have 10 damage, which means that they have to block a Hollow one instead of blocking a Root Walla. If they have nothing in hand. They probably don't have nothing in hand, but they could have nothing in hand. They are a Standstill deck. So I think the answer here is going to be with one Squee. I'm gonna activate Bazaar once, and then I'll let the Squee come back. Maybe, okay. Yeah, this is an attack all. Oh, Snap Swords. That has got to be one of the worst possibles for me here. Yep. Okay. That's pretty bad. Eat a Root Walla, take 4, trade with Root Walla, maybe. I don't have a Mental Misstep to draw to, so I have one Hollow one left in my deck. I still want to have a Wasteland if I can find it. Yeah, that was really bad. This still looks like an activate. Okay, that's not bad. I mean, it's not good, but it stops us from getting tabbed again. It's like a Wasteland. I mean, what happens when they Timeless Dragon us, really? All right, Containment Priest getting in there. This is just going to be a Delve spell plus a Delve spell. Man, I think this one match has gone on longer than the whole challenge. My lord. So this deck has Treasure Cruise and Dig Through Time and 2 Snapcasters. I'm not going to lie to you. I could never play this deck. Oh, they have Leyline too. I boarded out Vigor. All right. So, yeah. That is a deck. All right, so if we draw a Fury their board, we have a chance here. Okay, so if I Noxious Revival my Fury, draw 2, discard 3 is bad still. All right, so let's just activate normally. Maybe that was bad. Maybe I was still supposed to do that. I don't know. I have like so little agency now in this game. I'm hard pressed to see a place where I resolve a Fury anyways, but the thing is we need to cast Fury before our second creature spell, because if Fury is our second creature spell, then it'll trigger before Fury resolves. Which I can do. I can Noxious a Fury, bring everything back, Fury, activate, return, get rid of Root Walla, but still don't see us. Oh. Now I can actually cast Root Walla off the Cradle, so it's still fine. I can bounce my Chalice, play a bunch of 0 drops. Sure. Black Lotus, Timeless Dragon. Oh, Standstill, sure. I mean, my Fury, if it resolves, is killing their whole board, which is kind of cute. It's not gonna resolve, but all right. Fury, pitching squee. Have to have force of will. They had force of will. At that point, I should just try to see if I can find my own force of will. Oh, I can't because there's a fairy. Right. Right. Okay. I made a play. I don't think this chalice on 0 does anything, but who can stop me? A play was made. And is that what matters? Maybe. Yeah. I don't see any more. This is our last turn here. Looking for another Fury. Didn't find another Fury. Looking for another Fury. Found hollow one. I know that I can't return these Vengevines, but what we got? What is that? Oh, yeah, of course. Who could forget the Shark Typhoon? You got it. Opponent's out here playing Legacy. Yeah. I mean, the good guy. I guess this is the good guys. You could say the good guys won. Beating up on this poor, sick, bizarre player. All right. So I still have the ability to win this game if I draw Fury and it resolves, right? Because I still return 3 Vengevines. Now, is that possible? No. But I think you have to play towards it. So, kind of the frustrating aspect of playing against control decks. In paper, I could just ask them to show me their hand. You know, all right, that works. I've been bested, I guess. Okay, now that we've lost twice as many times as we did in all of the all of the 9 rounds of the challenge, let's try to make a comeback here. We got Joanne across the table. Joanne typically doing some kind of powerful combo magic, so we'll see what we can do. This hand's good. Keep. I'm just get rid of this powder. Done. Though, if they are on the combo Oath deck, I played against No Props in the finals of that challenge, and my lord, did that matchup seem so bad for me. They just had so many spells that instantly won the game. It was crazy. You know, between turn 1 Oath and Show and Tell and even like Flash, just it felt like there were too many things to deal with. And if my hand wasn't like a perfect 7-card keep with 2 answers, it didn't add up. Like if I force the first thing, it's fine, but if I can't force the second thing, it doesn't matter. If I don't have a vigor for the Oath, like I play one game one like by the spare, but just barely, with a vigor and a negation, but it was challenging. Okay, I think we just let that one go. Could eat my squee, which is unfortunate, but probably still looking to activate Bazaar anyways. All right, well now things are really good because I'm just gonna go Vengevine, Root Walla, Squee into Yard, Pitch Cast Fury, kill Deathrite Shaman, and bring back Vengevine. Yeah, that's evil. That just feels super evil. Like, how can you see this happen and think, damn? Wait, I mean, that's very easy to. I was gonna say, damn, this is okay, but I don't know. This deck is certainly broken, but so is all the vintage decks, right? Yeah. I think I'm just gonna force this. I kind of like the position I'm in. If I just get rid of this, we seem like we're in a good spot. Force that, wasteland them. Even if they wasteland us, we have 5 power, probably winning. All right, so against probably bug or 4 color, feel like they're likely on ley lines. Don't know if they're. I don't know if Fury is like super strong. Maybe Cradle and Caracas are fine against certain things. At least Cradle. And then like one Noxious. So the Fury is only good if they have the other things besides Deathrite Shaman to kill. I can probably trim on like this, and maybe that's interesting. Something like that's probably fine. I can definitely be convinced a couple of these can be tuned or swapped, so. This is a powder. This is a mulligan. A mulligan. It's a keep. Least of Fury is to the bottom. Probably. I actually don't feel like Wasteland is super great here. Maybe I'll just do that. This way I can keep active Fury. All right. Yeah, it's possible I was definitely. It's possible I was in the wrong for. Wow, this is going to be pretty aggressive, but I think this is correct. Oh, they have surgical? It looks like they have surgical. They were trying to pay costs. Oh, I don't know. I think I'm still always making this play, so. Oh, they don't have surgical. Maybe they have Ravenous Trap and I only put I only put 2 cards in the yard. That could be the case. I think I'm just always making this play, get my 8 free hasty power, and make my opponent beat it with a Tabernacle. They don't have a Tabernacle, they lose. They have a Tabernacle, I probably am in a rough spot, but I still have Bizarre plus Master, so it's not like the end of the world. Okay, they gotta be in a rough spot then. They have Oath? No, oh, they can't have Oath. They have a Death Heart Shaman deck. Okay. Yep. Sure. Did use 2 Furies for that. I think this is just put everything in play, make them beat it. This is definitely an opportunity where I'm willing to just sacrifice the. I mean, maybe I don't even have to sacrifice the Root Walla because they have to eat to live. I don't know. Felt like an opportunity where sacking the Root Walla just to make sure I got in 8 damage was fine. Could be wrong though. Even if they eat and block, I still have lethal now. Oh, now Black Lotus eat the whole thing. Okay. So this root wall attack might cost me then. Because now they eat 4. They eat their whole thing. They go up to 7 and they make a 7/7. They block. That's still losing? Wow, it's still losing. I guess if they have a removal spell, it's not losing. Wow, that's absolutely crazy. Definitely think my attack with the one root all was bad. Gave them an extra eat. I didn't really consider Lotus, so. All right, here we go. 5th and final match of this league. We got a rematch against Juan, who was playing some kind of Deathbite Shaman deck in round 1, or round 4, I should say. See what we can do here. This is a powder. This is a mulligan. This is a keep. And a bottom. And a done. I got the please no, not again from my opponent in chat, which is, yeah, basically how everyone feels playing against Bazaar. I understand. Fetch Basic Island. Okay. Don't know if it's the same deck then. Not too many decks that play Deathheart Shaman have Basic Island in them. So maybe a different deck from our opponent this time, which would be nice. Always good to get a nice variety for the stream. What do we got? Can't wasteland it, so I'm gonna hold the strip mine. I think I would rather get a Bazaar activation, get some masters going. Yeah, I actually think I am willing to just put both masters, try to extract full value. I of course have to utilize force, pitching force, but I think if I don't have to force on this turn, the upside of getting an extra card seems high enough to me that justifies this play. Oh, maybe we're playing against Doomsday actually. That would definitely make my play more sad. Nope, that's a wasteland. Okay, so it's an island wasteland deck. Interesting. I don't exactly know what's going on. This might be the same deck we just played against, except I just didn't expect the Deathward Shaman deck to have an island in it. I assume this is demonic for for ancestral, but all right, get to get my masters back. Pretty happy with that. Mindbreak Trap looks quite good here. Squee, powder, and I think I'm just gonna keep all of my. Maybe I'll put one master back. Yeah, I'll put one master back. And then I'll just go Wasteland on the sea. Attack. I don't even think I'm forcing an Ancestral on here anyways. I guess maybe I'm supposed to hold open that Wasteland in case D. No, it's fine. Vigor. So they are still the bug deck. So it's a bug Deathrite Shaman deck, but yeah, it's playing Basic Island, huh? Wonder if they demonic for Vigor. I think I'm gonna let this go. I don't think fighting over that's good for me. Oh wait, totally is good for me because I don't have a backup Bazaar. I'm bad. Okay, I should fight over that probably. Though I guess if this is the board state we're ending in, I'm pretty happy. So maybe not. I'm like a little worried about like Fluster Spell Pierce there. I could be wrong. Oof, yeah. Mind this. Blue. Oh, so they did go for Ancestral. All right, well, you definitely play a resource denial game here. All right, well, I don't have a Bazaar, but I do have 13 turn clock, and they're out of mana, and they don't have an Ancestral anymore. They were just looking for a good Ancestral window, I guess. Not convinced this is a winning state, but it's possible. Like, simply land Deathright is quite good for them. Land anything, really. Yeah, I'm just gonna force it. And then if they have force back, at least I have trap here. No. Bizarre? Snapback. That's not great. Yeah, I think we're losing here. I had to force the vigor. Even if it put me in an awkward spot because I just didn't have a follow-up way to keep pressure. I just didn't really realize that I didn't have a second Bizarre or Noxious, so that one's on me. Just a bad play. Obviously, there's a downside to forcing the vigor, but probably just had to be done. Can still win this game, of course. Drawing Bizarre or Noxious puts us in an okay spot. We actually have an answer now to a creature, so could still be fine. Them hitting Mox land into Leovold is not what I would consider to be fine. Yeah, hitting, yeah, just bug things, I guess. Don't think I'm gonna Fury right away. Doesn't feel like that's what I want to do. All things look quite poor here for us, though. Yeah, so it's just a very cantrip style, Xerox style bug deck. Interesting. I don't know, it's kind of illegal to play. I guess if you have preordained, it's better, but I really dislike Island in my Deathray Shaman decks. Yeah, I don't know. Really don't see a lot more edges to be gained here. Oh, Deep Root Wayfinder. Uh, yeah. I mean, I guess so. What's I gotta do? Cool card. I haven't actually played any videos with this card yet. It's not really my style. All right. So the Leovold has to leave play. This doesn't get better, unfortunately. Even if I attack and they block, I do two and it does not enough damage. I have to block this. I don't know what sequence here is getting me to a place where I'm happy. Probably isn't one. Maybe I snap back this Fury. Maybe I should have kept the second Root Wall in hand. Snap back the Fury. This doesn't count as discarding, right? It's exiling. Yeah. Maybe that's what I should have done is I should have pitched Squee to hand size and then snap back my Fury. I didn't know about this at the time, of course, but think I play on because I'm still at the point where one bizarre draw probably is winning. Classic bug player. What is a Moxen? I think I just let this happen. I only need one bizarre activation at this point. Well, I guess they do get to surveil one. They put the card on top. It can't be good. Could always wasteland this wasteland if I want to as well. Noxious. Okay, that's a bizarre. All right, well. Do it on their turn. All right, I have a bizarre coming. Deathrite Shaman? No. What is this? Oko. Okay. That's bad. That's definitely bad. Oko is their first spell of the turn. Yeah, I don't know if any of that matters. Yeah. All right. That was a rough game. I had to force and I didn't force and I paid for it with my life there. Definitely bringing Krakus this time. Now that I know a little better. Still assume they're on ley line. So it's fine. We'll just go. We're definitely bringing in all our Furies now because our opponent is on a bunch of creatures. All right. I mean, I assume the bug matchup is bad. I mean, I guess we got, we ran pretty hot in the last round, but I would say in most circumstances, you don't really want to be playing this side of the bug matchup. It's one of the few decks where you actually are heavily rewarded for playing bug. Yep, classic. Of course, yes. Yeah. Bug gaming, bug gaming. That's absolutely bug gaming if I've ever seen one. Is it enough? Could be. Our draws have not been bad because we have drawn more Bizarres, but they haven't been good either. Opponent probably just eats a squee here. Sorry, a master probably is more likely. will wasteland their tropical. I don't think there's any good value in like noxiousing the master or anything like that. That's a little bit too many bazaars, don't you think? I have all 4 bazaars, which is not great. Dang, that's really rough. Not good. Because now they can eat the vine. They probably just... Oh, they might just still eat the squee. Yeah, they're probably supposed to eat the squee. If they eat the vine here, I just put it on top, and I try to go for double bazaar, activate, bring it back. Maybe that ends up being good for me. I'm not sure that's always a great line. Yeah, this is why you can definitely tell. Like, I feel like, we have a lot of things happening here that are good, but this is exactly the kind of bug start that is good against, if I don't have hollow ones and 10 free power on turn 1, they can kind of match what we're doing here. Oh, interesting. So this means they're going for like an Oko. I'm just gonna stop this from happening. Just Noxious Revival on my Strip Mine. Turn off this activation. Whatever's happening here is bad for me. So I think this is the play. See what they do. Definitely don't want that happening. I don't know what exactly is going on, but deep root. Okay. Yeah. All right, we need some help for sure. I mean, I think we're gonna get bullied this game. We kind of got bullied this league. We played against a lot of decks that I would consider to be more reasonable against mine. It's typically any deck that has, Wasteland in it is going to be good against my deck. So, kind of want to dodge those matchups. These are not the things we were looking for. All right, I'm just going to go with one more Bazaar activation, try to get this Vengevine in play now. All right, I'm good. So, yeah, I'm just going to concede here. I don't think this is worth playing. Because I can't Wasteland this now. They eat something, they bring back Wasteland. Like, it's possible that this is worth playing out, but I don't think I'm not going to. I'm off it. They've bested me there. Also, those like sizings are really awkward for Fury too. Oh, it's frozen, so. All right, so we ended up 2 and 3. We lost to Standstill and Bug. The fact that we split evenly with Bug, especially in the build with like Wayfinders and all the stuff that they had, is pretty nice actually. We got, tinkered out once, which is fine. But yeah, all in all, kind of what you would expect from a league with this deck. I do think that this deck is worse in leagues than it is in challenges, typically a reflection of the metagame. I don't exactly remember what my matchups were off the top of my head, but they felt like there was a bunch of reasonable ones. A low number of Wastelands in comparison to this league, where we had, what, four Wasteland decks against us, so... definitely a deck I recommend, especially if the metagame ends up being Initiative and Jewel. That's something that I stated recently, was that, Initiative and Jewel at one point were combined 30% of the metagame, and this is a deck where you're going to be good against Initiative, you're going to be good against Jewel, so a nice opportunity for Countervine to make a stand. I think that window has actually already passed, unfortunately. The week before this weekend was very, very good for Countervine, like 70% win rate, very good metagame call. I assume that this weekend will have a similar but maybe lower win rate for Countervine, especially seeing as I got second place in one of the challenges with it. But it's This is a metagame dependent deck for sure. It's a very powerful deck. It can obviously win in any metagame, but if people are going to show up with Wastelands, I would not show up with Bazaars, and that's just kind of how it works. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, even with no Cam and no Justin. Well, I'm here, but I hopefully on the road to recovery and will return to normal in the near future. I do hope to record enough videos to get through this week before I head out near the end of the week. We'll see what happens though. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 at 11 a.m. See you then.